what I will say again is that we've got over 3,500 of you watching us live, and look, there's no doubt about it. When you watch this show live, not everyone's going to agree with what all of we say, but the most important thing about the show is that we always try and retain an authentic nature to it. We want everybody to come here and say their truth and not feel they've got to tone down what they say.
Vicky, can I just say one thing? Because I saw a lot of the comments. I was reading through the comments, and obviously people are definitely entitled to obviously come back to my opinion and stuff. I didn't say I'm Ange out. I just said I don't think Ange, if he doesn't change tactically, is the man to take us forward. Yes. He's here now. I'm going to get behind him. I'm going to support him, as you guys have seen. But if he doesn't change his tactics and tweak things and adapt, like an Arteta has, like a Jurgen Klopp has, like a Pep Guardiola has, who all, like you rightfully said, Ricky, had rocky-ish first seasons. If he continues to play like he is doing now, he's not going to be the man to take us forward. So I need to see that from Ange. Yep. I need to see tactical intelligence. He's got to this level. He's obviously a good coach, but some of the stuff he's doing is very naive. And if that doesn't change, I'm just voicing how I feel right now, to be fair. When you're shipping 3 goals,
I think you made it very clear.
Spurs to date have conceded 16 goals, 16 from, of course, set pieces overall. And that's why there is that overall concern. But after the game, Russ, he was questioned by Ali Gold, friend of the show. Yeah. She was asked, in regards to the tactical element of defending set pieces, is there a reason why Spurs aren't defending better? And, you know, ultimately, he said from his perspective, no, it's because understanding where you are as a football team. If I thought fixing the defence set pieces was the answer to bridging the gap, then I'd put all my time and effort into that. But that's not where we're at. For us, it's about when I was focused on the details of not just set pieces, but a lot of the moments in the games where we don't sense that you give good opposition the time and the space to the things that are going to hurt you. I think that they maybe had 4 attempts on our goal in the first half and they conceded 3. I don't think it's about one part. I think it's a bigger, broader picture than that. But our defensive set pieces for those 2 were very, very poor. But there's a lot more than that to fix. Do you just think, Russ, could he not have just come out there and said, we do have an issue at set pieces. We're fully aware of that, and we're working on them. Would that have been a big, hard admittance to make, or do you think within his statement there, within that statement, do you think he's alluding to that?
I mean, I think, look, this takes us into the summer. I'm not Ange out, although I think if we get to Christmas time, January, February of next year, and it's still not going very well, I think questions justifiably will be asked. He is an employee of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Mikel Arteta has been at Arsenal now for a few years, and we know what he's done, but he's been supported by the Kroenke family on an amazing scale. Once they realise this bloke is actually good and knows what he's doing with the team behind him. So is Daniel Levy going to give Ange Postecoglou the power to bring in the players that he wants? I'm sure he's got some ideas, and say goodbye to the players that he doesn't want, because in brutal terms, you know, the Timo Werners of this world probably are not going to be at the club if we want to get better and actually improve. And there's a lot of them as well. But is he going to be brutal enough to say to some of his coaches, sorry, boys, you know, we just have been too vulnerable across so many games. We're not playing as I want us to play, and I'm going to bring in some new coaches. You know, I mean, that is a very reasonable question to ask.
Richie on the bench. Pat, I'll come to you. Thoughts on the team? Did Ange get that team wrong?
No, I really liked the lineup. When I saw it, I was inspired. I thought that Højbjerg, every time Højbjerg's played, for all of his deficiencies, he is a very solid defensive midfielder. Technically a lot better than people give him credit for. Defensively, in terms of position, he's a bit more disciplined than probably a Basuma or a Sarr. So I like the fact that he would probably just sit and try and sweep and mop up. It then allows Bentancur to get on the ball and move it forward. And we obviously know what Maddison will try and do in that number 10 position. Werner, obviously hit and miss with the fan base, but I do think that he has been effective more often than not. And I like LWOSXi. I love his energy. I think he's such a skillful player. And I thought he had a fantastic game today. I mean, that pirouette, or that when he literally spun 2 Arsenal players and he was winning the ball back, could have had a penalty, should have had a penalty on another day. You know, we won't talk about Michael Oliver and what he does and doesn't give us. Son down the middle, I keep saying this every time. As much as I love Son and I think he's a fantastic player, when you play him down the middle, you lose some of his effectiveness and you don't get the best version of Heung-min Son. When Richarlison came on through the middle and Son was out on the left, he was much more effective. But obviously needs must, like you said, Richie not having played or started in 2 months, I understand why that didn't happen. Ben Davies coming in makes sense. Defensively, he's very good. Obviously, he's not going to have the dynamic, up and down or legs or wing back, literally what your Doji does. But yeah, all in all, that team was a good team. I liked it. It had balance. It had enough attacking impetus or intent. In hindsight, did Ange get it wrong? Maybe, because when Richarlison came on down the middle and Son was on the left, we did look a lot better. Even when Yves Bissouma came on, he seemed to transition the ball a lot better. Yves Bissouma was really good today, by the way.
My concern at the moment with the first 11s is that clearly, and it's not Ange's fault maybe at the moment, he just doesn't know his best midfield, because we know Sarr's managing a back issue. Bentancur still coming back from an ACL. James Maddison, look, I think the reality with James Maddison is that when he's in his stride, he's absolutely superb. But Leicester fans have said this, that when he's coming back from an injury, it takes a while to get the James Maddison back that he can be on a week-to-week basis. And I think that's where we are with Maddison. Again, a fine player, but we need to try and get him back to that level he was. But Patty, 3-1, that goal going in, was there an element of any kind of hope, or was it just trying to really get some pride back into what was a damaging first half, as we all know?
No, definitely. When Richarlison, when Romero scored, we were hopeful in the stadium because it was a bit subdued. We went in 3-0 down at half time, and we were the better team in most parts, other than obviously them scoring the goal. It kind of like the game was lulling out. It was just petering out because Arsenal were 3-0 up. They didn't have to do anything, and we had the ball, but we weren't really causing them problems. We weren't testing the goalkeeper. We weren't getting in behind. We weren't forcing them to scramble or putting them under pressure, basically. But when Romero scored, we all felt like, you know what, maybe we can do something, because we weren't playing badly, were we? It's just for whatever reason. Well, we know the reasons. We were 3-0 down, and it just felt like, wow. So obviously you feel still got 2 goals to score, but we all felt positive, and we all felt like, if we get the next goal and we get it soon enough, we can really, Arsenal will wobble and they feel under pressure, and then anything can happen in a North London derby. So we all felt good. Romero obviously leading. I liked what Romero did today because he led by his actions, not talking, not shouting at people. He just led by his actions on the pitch, and I thought he had a fantastic game. Like Ross said, I thought Kulusevski had a fantastic game as well. Son, unfortunately, wasn't really in the game. I mean, it was a great penalty, like Nurse's steal as well, because it took ages to actually take the penalty, and the way he slotted it away or finished in the top corner was great. But Son didn't have a great game. But when he did play on the left and put Richarlison down the middle, it did feel like we could get something out of the game.